right, we're looking at factors that affect the speed of a wave. And so I'm going to try and only change one characteristic of the wave at a time. And so first, let's do amplitude. So I'm going to send a small amplitude pulse like this one versus a big amplitude pulse like this one. Any thoughts on the speed of those? Are they different? How does the amplitude change the speed? So amplitude little versus amplitude big. Do a measurement, press pause, press pause and predict what you might think and so on. The next one, now I'm trying to keep the amount of time, let's say I do the pulse, the same. I'm trying to control variables. So a little amplitude versus a big amplitude. Basically, I'm trying to have the only difference be the amplitude. Another difference I could compare is wavelength. So if I had, say, this amplitude, one tile amplitude, but one that's a long wavelength versus one that's a smaller wavelength. Like if I go as fast as I can, right? That wavelength versus if I go a lot slower is a longer wavelength. And so again, you can go back, watch the video, predict or measure what the speed would be. So there's, do one more here, right? Short wavelength, let's go shortest possible wavelength, and then long wavelength. And then the other one I want to do next, remind myself here, tension, right? And so right now, there's a certain tension of the wave. If I gather up some of the spring, I have even higher tension. So let's look at the speed now versus, just trying to look at that or go even more tension. See what kind of result you're observing there. Versus if I go lower tension, I can't really do lower tension without doing this at this point. So that stretched pretty much almost max, but it's now can't really compare times necessarily because we don't have the same distance, but bring that way. And then density. In order to compare density, we have to get away with this. So this spring is a lot less dense, obviously. And I'm going to try to gather it up so it's close, somewhere near the same tension as the other spring. Okay, I'm going to send a pulse now and see, it's still way less tension to be honest, but what's the speed in comparison as I might be closer to the same tension, and it seems like it's quite a bit faster, doesn't it? Fun with slinkies.